Near Irvine, more than 100,000 people ordered to evacuate their homes. Wall Street Dow futures up 102 points, and this is SRN News. What are your top issues this election cycle?
The Public Religion Research Institute has been asking, and it finds that the coronavirus is the number one concern for a lot of religious people, including white mainline Protestants, black Protestants, and Hispanic Catholics. But for white evangelical Protestants, abortion is the top issue, the only group to place it so highly. One issue that appears on the lists of virtually all faith groups, the fairness of the presidential election. Michael Harrington, SRN News.
A Christian ministry is calling on Americans to pray over the looming presidential election for 10 minutes each day. The presidential prayer team says nearly 100,000 people have already committed to daily prayer right up through November 3rd, and it's hoped that others will join up. Ministry President Jim Bolthouse sees a critical need for prayer over this election. We believe the power of prayer will be seen through the change within America, one heart at a time. This is SRN News. California restaurants have a bone to pick with their state and county leaders.
Restaurants in the Golden State are asking state and county officials to refund more than $100 million in fees for health permits along with tourism assessments that they've been charged despite their businesses being shut down or partially closed because of coronavirus rules. The claims filed say governments forced restaurants to close because of the virus, but in what they describe as a cruel twist, continued to collect the fees. The establishments say they've been threatened with permanent closure if they don't pay up. A government claim is an initial step before filing a class action lawsuit. California officials have 45 days to respond to the claims. Keith Peters reporting.
The New Orleans metro area now under a hurricane watch as Zeta bears down on the region. Landfall expected tomorrow somewhere along the coast from Louisiana to western Florida.
Hi, this is Al Williams, Operations Manager here at WVVC. As we settle into fall, we look back on a very difficult season. Because of COVID, many local businesses have struggled, and some have even shut their doors for the last time. Our station is no exception. We need your support to keep the ministry moving here at WVVC. Would you consider being a financial supporter? All you have to do is log on to WVVC Utica. That's WVVC, like we're the Valley Voice for Christ. WVVCutica.com and click on Donate. We aren't some huge ministry in a faraway state. We're located and staffed right here in the Mohawk Valley. We are local Christian radio serving our local mission field, which is our local community. I just wanted to thank you for listening and supporting the ministry of WVVC.
Now, your Breakfast Club weather forecast.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin James with a quick check of your WVVC weather forecast. For today, Tuesday, look for mainly cloudy skies with a slight chance for a rain shower. Our highs will be in the upper 40s. For tonight, skies will be cloudy as our lows will be in the mid-30s. For tomorrow, Wednesday, we will see mostly cloudy skies early with partly cloudy skies later in the day. Our highs will be in the low 50s. For Wednesday night, we can expect partly cloudy skies in the evening, which will become cloudy on the overnight with a chance for periods of showers after midnight. Our lows will be in the low 40s. For the long-range outlook, cooler temperatures with chances for showers and snow showers will be the rule through the end of the week, with partly cloudy skies over the weekend into the new week. We turn our clocks back 1 hour Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, as it will become 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy that extra hour of rest. With your weather forecast, I'm Kevin James on WVVC, Utica, New York.
I don't know, Kevin. I don't know if I want another hour of 2020. Do we need an extra hour?
Miss Kimmy came up with that. She said, if we get rid of that, there'll be one less hour of 2020, and we can
move on. And, I remember back at the end of 2019, people were like, 2020 is a new year. Yeah, it is. That's all I've got to say.
There was a meme that was, it had a row of Johns, outdoor things.
Yep.
And the middle ones were on fire, and they were melting. And it said, if 2020 was a scented candle.
Oh, sad but true, man.
That would be it.
I'll tell you what, the cost, and I've said this before, the cost to families in 2020, it's sad. we all take family vacations, do family things. We weren't able to do any of that this year.
Yeah.
Now instead of, having good times out with the family, you're stuck in the house with the family all the time, and then you just want to strangle each other.
Yeah. The only thing that we were looking forward to in 2020 was getting over all of this.
Yeah.
All COVID all the time stuff.
Uh-huh.
And now we already have warnings that, you could be wearing masks into
2022. Fauci put that out there.
I noticed that the president hasn't been calling on Fauci a lot.
I noticed that.
Yeah, and he is no longer doesn't seem to be called to the new COVID team meetings.
Yeah.
That's also a thing that's happening. I wonder why.
I'll tell you what, and here's the thing. I care about the people around me. I care about my family. I care about those people. But if I were the one sitting here in New York State in charge of how we handle COVID, I would not have done any of these lockdowns. Because we're talking about the medical condition of COVID, the disease that is COVID. But let's talk about the other disease that we've kicked up, and that's the mental health issues.
Right.
Okay, because now what you're doing is you're killing people's livelihoods.
Right.
You are driving people to the point where they're wondering how they're going to get by.
Right.
You created a brand new health crisis.
The other thing is, what is it? We've had, we're watching the corona all the time, but you notice that all these other diseases relating to the lungs, they are like nil. They're gone.
Yeah, you hear
Wonder
nothing.
what happened to them.
Well, when they go to the hospital, everything's corona.
Maybe they've been reclassified.
Honestly, I think there's a thing that needs to be coined, and we'll call it coronavirus fatigue.
Yes.
All right. Every day, seeing the numbers for the counties. Every station, we're going to give you the breakdown by county. This is the number of people who are sick. Yeah. Followed by, hey, if you were any of these 25 places, you might be sick.
Over the past week.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. They put it out every day, though.
Yeah.
It is insane. It is
did
so
you
much.
See that? I believe it was Regal, the nation's largest theater chain, shut down.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
They shut down. Oh boy!
How I can't believe that the small ones, some of them are still
is it really,
hanging on.
Is it really? Did that is shutting down theaters? Because I think that there is a need to take a serious look without doing the overkill.
Yes,
which I think is what really is being done, especially with our wonderful Emperor Andy.
If I had been the guy, I would have immediately asked people who are at risk, the old, the young. I probably still would have shut down schools, at least to a degree, because they're a breeding ground. We all know that. Anybody who has kids in school, you know that your kids come home with everything that everybody else has all the time.
Right.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. So I probably still would have done something like that, but I never would have shut businesses down like that.
Yeah.
Never would have happened.
Yeah, it was overkill.
It was seriously
overkill.
was.
And speaking of which, Miss Kimmy was pointing out a Twitter yesterday where there were these Jewish schools in New York, and there was somebody that was going along, and they were putting legal notices of like fines because you were violating these rules.
Yeah.
And the school caretaker, or whoever he was, comes out and says, "What are you doing?" She says, "Well, we're putting these violation notices out." He goes, "What are we in violation of?" She says, "Well, we have to do these things because there's this list." He's like, "Excuse me, you're giving us a violation? We don't have any kids in school.
Yeah.
How can we be in violation? There's no kids here.
Yeah.
We're not in school. We're not in session. What are we in violation of? Oh, well, there's a list. The list came from Albany.
Oh, geez.
We're supposed to put these schools on this list. We're supposed to." It's like, "Excuse me, lady, you're going to put that violation on our door? We're not even in session. There's nobody here. You didn't even knock to see what's going on in here to find out what's going on." So there's that overkill.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, gee, maybe somebody has something about this Jewish neighborhood thing going on, and like
I think there's a secondary issue. Secondary issue is New York's budgets are not looking very good.
Yeah, so we need to find violations and need to get them taken care of so we can fill our coffers.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's stinking sad.
Because all those dead people in nursing homes that we got money from, that wasn't enough money.
No, definitely not. All right, let's get things started.
Father God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for a new opportunity to praise you. We pray, Lord, for health and wisdom. And Father, we pray as we enter this day that we hear your word, walk in your steps, that we be filled with your Holy Spirit and manifest your greatness, your goodness, and your love here on this earth. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
First on your FM dial, WVVC Dolgeville, Utica, Rome. Inspo Radio 88.1 FM.
They told me pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, a newborn king to see, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. Our finest gifts we bring, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, to lay before the king, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. So to honor him, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, when we
Yeah, that's for King and Country. That one going out to two groups of people. One, those people who can't wait till Christmas gets here, and two, those people who are dreading
when
Christmas is coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. That's a preview right there of things to come. Yeah. Yes, I do enjoy Christmas, though. That's my favorite holiday of the year. And I'm one of those odd people. I feel that it's a season. And the Christmas season includes Thanksgiving. It doesn't start after Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. It includes Thanksgiving. Yep. That's my feeling.
It's the holiday season.
That's right. And it's if I have to deal with snow at least I have to have something that I like about the season, too. So it makes me feel better than just the fact there's snow on the ground.
About Frosty biting you?
Oh, man. This news update brought to you by Dr. Uniforms, 1311 Oriskany Street West in the city of Utica.
Yes, if you're in need of a shiny new toque or a cool chef's jacket, or if you want to spifficate your wardrobe.
The complete spiffification.
Spiffification. And you can spiffy your feet with some really cool shoes that can help you keep you on your feet all day long.
Yeah, absolutely. 315-266-0093.
Now, your local headlines from the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, so yesterday I was watching Facebook light up with people saying, "What's going on near Leonardsville? What's all the police out there? There's so much going on out there." Yeah, Madison County Sheriff's Office investigating a shooting on Button Falls Road in Brookfield. Yeah, right down there, past the Gone Fitch Inn. The former Gone Fitch Inn down there in Leonardsville. Call came in after 4 p.m. for a male shooting victim. Sheriffs say he was taken to a hospital with a leg injury, which they say is non-life-threatening. The sheriff's office has not released the details of the incident nor the shooter's name, but they did say it's an isolated incident and the community does not have to worry. Shooting is still under investigation at this time. And are you feeling good about this election? Oh, well, you feeling good about the election process and the balloting process?
When it comes to how many ballots have been thrown out because in the mail,
by the way,
that worries me.
Over 60 million. 60 million have cast their votes so far.
Oh, wow.
And 60 million and climbing. And a hacker attack against Central New York County's computer raised concern about some emailed absentee ballots not being processed. But the State Board of Elections said Monday that voting in Shenango County will not be affected overall. County's Board of Elections released a statement last week advising anyone who emailed in an absentee ballot after October 15th to call and verify that it has been received. Herman Erickson, the county's information technology officer, said that the cyber attack encrypted about 200 county computers, demanding a ransom of $450 each to unlock the file. You gotta love that. He said the county isn't paying the ransom.
For each vote, or
yeah. The county's not paying the ransom, but they're wiping those computers clean and starting over. So you better hope
that's probably going to be what, $40,000 to start over.
Yeah, crazy. And Whitesboro residents who were affected by last year's Halloween floods have about 3 weeks now left to apply for a federal buyout. Applications must be submitted by Friday, November 13th. Can be sent by mail, email, or dropped off at Whitesboro Town Hall on Clarks Mills Road. It is imperative, this is a quote, it is imperative. For those interested in applying for this federal buyout program to meet this deadline, as it will be the only chance they will have to do so. That quote from Oneida County Executive Anthony Pacente. Oneida County and the town of Whitestown actually, have worked hard to make this opportunity available at the behest of residents in Whitesboro. They will not get this chance again. This is a one-time only federal buyout offer. And without enough applications, this funding is in jeopardy. So, yeah, the Whitestown supervisor, Sean Coletta, said knowing how long it took to secure this money, another opportunity like this may not come along again. So, get out there if you were one of those folks who was, and I'll tell you, Whitestown, they always seem to get it every time we have a flood. There's definitely a problem down there. So.
Well, I would say that the shorescape of Whitestown, they built a mall where there used to be a swamp.
Yep.
They built car lots where there used to be a swamp.
Yep.
They built the Walmart where there used to be a swamp.
Yep.
Where's the water going to go now? Maybe in your basement.
I was going to say maybe in your basement.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that might have something to do with it. And then for decades, if you had a log jam in the river, the EPA said, oh, no, you can't. Those logs are nature. You can't touch that. You'll get a huge fine.
Yeah.
Okay? Now they pay companies huge money to go out and do marine demolition to get those logs out of the water.
I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Go nuts.
Are we going to celebrate?
It's time to celebrate.
It is the holidays. Let's celebrate.
Well, it is October, and the first holiday, there's only a couple today, but the first holiday is very fitting for the month. It's National Black Cat Day.
Black Cat Day.
That's right. So if you own a black cat.
This is the one that crosses your path.
That's right.
And brings you bad luck.
Yes.
So we're having a national day for something that brings you bad luck.
So if you own a black cat, take him out to dinner. Enjoy the evening. Yes. It's also National American Beer Day. So yes, I'm sure there'll be people out there.
I think we should celebrate.
People out there celebrating that one. And it's also National Navy Day. So
National Navy Day.
Yeah, so if you have friends or family who are part of the United States Navy, you know, time to celebrate those folks out there.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
We can thank Thomas Jefferson, who started the United States Navy.
There you
And
go.
you know why he wanted to start the United States Navy?
What is that?
Because over there in North Africa, there were these Muslims that were attacking merchant ships. And they were attacking American-flagged merchant ships because they knew the United States had no navy. So if I attack this ship, I can take your cargo. I could take your ship, but usually what they would do is they would take the cargo and they would take a few select crew members that they needed as slaves aboard their ship. And they knew that the United States could do nothing about it. So Thomas Jefferson had the Quran translated so that people could read it, so you could find out what an not nice thing this thing comes down to.
Yeah.
Because the Quran says that, so long as you're doing it for Allah,
It's
anything is justified.
Yeah.
Okay? Raping, stealing, and murder are all justified under the Quran. So Thomas Jefferson was the one that actually got our Navy to be in the Navy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. So he actually had our first warships built, and the first thing they did was to go sailing off of North Africa, so that there you have it, from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli.
Yep.
That's why we were at the shores of Tripoli, protecting our merchant shipping.
Gotcha. All righty, the WVVC Gas Tracker brought to you by Big Dog Motors down there in Frankfurt.
Big Dog. The Gook has got everything you need to keep your wheels rolling. He's got the body shop. He's got the mechanical shop. If your wheels aren't rolling too well, he can tow them. And if you need it towed because you got that fender bender there, he can also help you out with your deductible.
Yeah.
So Todd Gookin over there in Frankfurt.
Big Dog Motors, 315-444-9028. Web address, BigDogMotorsInc.com. They're located 4262 Acme Road in Frankfurt. Nobody beats the Gook. And let's see here. Cheapest gas today.
Dun, dun, dun.
BJ's, 207.
207.
Mohawk Fuel, 207.
Oh, Mohawk Fuels went down. They're duking it out.
Kinney Drugs on Oriskany Boulevard, 213.
Oh, they went down.
Speedway on Commercial Drive near Greenman Ave there, near the mills, 218.
Okay, they're holding.
They're holding steady. Speedway on North Genesee Street,
219.
Speedway on South Genesee Street,
219.
And that wraps up our 219s for the day. Sunoco and A Plus on Kellogg Road, 221. Stewart Shops on Utica Street near Limberlost, 226. And Fast Track on Oriskany Street is, let's see here, 229. So,
229.
Those are your gas prices for today. What's going on outside there, Walt?
Actually, Al, you were telling me before that there was a little debate yesterday.
There was.
At MVCC.
At MVCC, there was a debate that was actually hosted by the next star stations, which would be, your WUTR, WFXV, Channel 9, WSYR out of Syracuse. They hosted it, and it was kind of cool the way they did it. They had different personalities from their station groups asking the candidates questions. But as far as who won, can you really say who won? I know that I side with Claudia because I like her policies way more.
Yes.
And I believe that...
basically, we're more conservative here than the liberals.
Yeah. Well, here's the problem. The reason why I say in this debate it's hard to say who won is because of the rebuttal process. They got like 30 seconds to rebut, and then their mic got cut, which I understand that on the national level because, it got a little heated. But
Well, actually, on the national level, what they did was when you were given your 2 minutes, the other guy's mic was cut.
Yep.
During rebuttal, both mics were open.
Yes.
And in this case, they swapped it?
This case, they got 30 seconds.
You had 30 seconds to rebut, and then you were chop.
Yep. It lent to a lot of fast
Boy,
talking.
don't those journalists love it when they're in control?
Yeah.
And they can push the buttons.
Yeah.
And, like in 60 Minutes when Trump was getting interviewed, and Leslie Stahl had all these, really tough, nasty questions, and Trump cut the interview short. Mm-hmm. And, now 60 Minutes can cut it and, that Trump has got a temper, da-da-da-da-da.
Yep.
Well, now Trump released the entire interview so that you can watch it, and you're going to find out that it's Leslie Stahl that had the temper and was having the little fits.
That's the problem with the media. You can paint things to look any way you want if you cut it just right.
That's right.
And they do.
Yes, indeed they do. Speaking of things that came out just right, Amy Coney Barrett.
Yes.
Not only did she pass the Senate, it was like get in a fast limo and head over to the South Lawn in the White House and get sworn in.
Now, here's the irritating thing. The woman who is running for vice president of the United States called this process illegitimate. That she was illegitimate. Are you kidding me? No, she's not illegitimate. Do you know anything about the Constitution? Do you know anything about...
We were talking about political overkill before. Mm-hmm. It's like, come on, people. All right, you might not like the results. You might not like that the Senate, McConnell, actually guided this one nicely. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like we have an opportunity. It's not going to be a very big window of opportunity. Let's get it done. Let's go through, and let's make it happen.
And how about the person who actually administered the oath, which would be Clarence Thomas.
Clarence Thomas, who also won by a 48-52 margin. Mm-hmm. There was one Republican, the senator from Maine. She did not vote for Amy Coney Barrett. Yeah. Otherwise, all Republicans voted for Amy Coney Barrett, and all Democrats voted against. The first time since 1869 that you have had that where not one person from the other party voted for. The first time since 1869.
And you know what's sad? She is absolutely qualified. You know? And even some of the Democrats said that she's absolutely qualified.
Senator Murkowski from Alaska, she was saying that she was going to vote the opposite way, but she said that Judge Barrett was so qualified that they voted for her. She doesn't like the way it went through. She thought that the Senate should have waited until the next period. Okay, and she's a Republican, the Republican from Alaska. Yeah. And but she still voted for Amy Coney Barrett. Now, I did not see an explanation from the senator from Maine. There was no listing of why she didn't vote.
I saw an article about it, and she was, huffy, and she's a rhino. There's no doubt about it.
Must be.
No doubt about it.
Because if you have somebody like Amy Coney Barrett that is eminently qualified, okay, they're good. Doesn't matter which side of the coin you're on. She's a great law person. She's a great judge, and she looks at the case from both sides of the issue, which is what I like.
Yes.
Let's see what's going on, and then let's see what the law says.
I hate rubber stamp politicians. Man, do I hate them.
Yep.
Did you see our everybody's favorite representative from Hawaii?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you see her fit?
Hanoi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She threw a little fit during the vote.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah, it's worth going back to YouTube and watching. Yeah.
And watching her have her little fit?
Yeah, she wasn't happy.
Yeah, she wasn't a big senator?
Yeah. I'll tell you, it's one of them things.
Okay, bad news. Protests have turned violent in Philadelphia. There was a domestic dispute. A black man wielding a knife after he was trying to be arrested by cops. Pulls out a knife, and now he starts chasing the cops down. The cops open fire. They kill the man. And now Philadelphia is being looted, being burned, and cops are being run over. I don't know if you saw the scene where a pickup truck.
I didn't.
I mean, we're talking the kind of pickup truck that you want to drive around in the Adirondacks with the big wheels and the high rise. And there was actually somebody in the bed of the pickup doing the Baja thing, standing up and holding on to the crash bar they put over the back of the truck.
Yep.
And they plowed through a line of police that was trying to restore law and order in Philadelphia. They hit somebody. As of I was reading before we came here, have not listed the condition of the officer. Apparently, I think the officer has survived from what I have heard so far, but we don't know if it's in serious condition or what. But they actually ran right through the line, ran over a cop, and apparently they do have the driver in custody. So we don't know what charges are pending from that. But again, you see that immediately after something like this happened, people aren't even waiting to find out whether or not it was justified. It's like, let's start burning down the town and let's start looting shops and breaking windows. And
is this a preview of what's coming after the election? That's my next question.
Ooh.
It's a lot of things to think about.
Good question.
Yeah.
So you're saying that if Biden wins, that the conservatives are going to come out and start burning down federal courthouses.
Somehow I doubt that.
Oh, you don't think that's what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You don't suspect that's going to be it?
I suspect there could be an opposite but equal response. You know. So, yeah, it's 2020. That's all I got to say. 2020.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Hey, do you remember when Obama was elected, how all the conservatives went out and started burning things and breaking up housekeeping and running over cops? You remember when all that happened?
No, I remember that there was one of the biggest parties in Washington Avenue that Washington has ever seen when Obama was first elected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a huge party, and actually all the attendees were allowed to party in the street.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
What I do remember... during that period of time, Glenn Beck had a giant rally of almost 1 million people.
Yeah.
And I believe this was the second term, and we went down there.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was rather huge. And actually, there were 2 rallies at the same time.
Oh, boy.
Al Sharpton had a rally on the other side, and over by the mall, there was well over 800,000. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Whether or not it was 1 million, CBS, they had said it was 60,000 people.
Uh-huh.
Now, remember the Million Man March back in the 80s?
I remember it.
80, okay. There's a picture of the mall of the Million Man March, and they said that was about 800,000 people. They had a picture of the Glenn Beck thing. You put them side by side. They're basically around the same crowd size.
Yep.
Okay. CBS said there were 60,000 people. I mean, they were off by a factor of more than 90%.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that is how bad the mainstream media is out there.
It is. You know, I remember after Obama was elected, everybody who disagreed with the whole thing, everybody who voted against him, we got to hear about how everybody's racist. And I made the point. I said, you know what? There are so many great African Americans I would have loved to have seen be the first in that seat. You know, and we were stuck with a socialist
socialist puppet
that
could read a prompter elegantly.
He
could dress nice and he could read a prompter elegantly, and that was about it.
A socialist
when he was in Miami
person.
When he was in Miami, and he was in North Miami. So he was like between North Miami, Fort Lauderdale. He was in the crowded part of Miami. He wasn't around the bottom, you know, where you're halfway into the Everglades or something like that. He was in North Miami, and he brought 235 cars, about 400 people.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the week before, Trump had 20,000 cars.
Yep.
Trump train.
And they're playing it down, saying that they're telling people not to come because of COVID.
I'm sure. That's why you have a rally, is so you can tell people not to come.
Very important.
Makes great political sense.
It sure does.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a great excuse for having nobody at your rally. Your mother and your grandmother, right? Well, actually, Joe's grandmother's probably not around. But
if we had more than 1/4 of Barack Obama's rally outside of Big Apple when we were doing a Tenny Trump Back the Blue rally.
You know what's funny?
There's about 120 people out there.
There's a TV show called Community, which I was watching last night. Mm-hmm. There's an episode where Joe Biden was supposed to visit the college. Never ended up coming, but they show a scene. They never show his face and everything, but they make him out to be a bumbling idiot in the back of the. It was funny. I need to find that clip because it shows you even back. That was 2010 or 2011, I think, when that came out. They thought Joe was a bumbling idiot back then.
No kidding.
All
the way back then.
All the way back then.
He's kind of like, I don't know. Well, you might not know, but when Tricky Dick was around, Nixon.
Yeah.
Okay. He had a vice president by the name of Spiro T. Agnew.
Oh, yeah.
And Spiro T. Agnew was one of those guys that, he went golfing, and you know how the crowd is all around him? Mm-hmm. And when he went to swing and hit the ball hit somebody in the crowd. He was always having some kind of goof or gaffe or something stupid was always happening. So he was the late-night comedians, fest.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They would all be like, okay, what did Spiro do today? And that was the joke of the day.
I remember back in the early, late 80s, early 90s, it was Dan Quayle. Man, that boy could not do anything right. Spell potato.
P-O-T Otto.
Yeah, he, I remember the, what's-her-face that played Murphy Brown, made good fun of him. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but she, again, so many lefties out there. Matthew McConaughey. You know who Matthew McConaughey is, probably?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Christian in Hollywood, and he called out the lefties as, talking down to everybody of faith.
And they don't like that.
No, they don't. They really don't. And it's nice to see somebody who is in Hollywood who is not afraid to say, hey, I am a Christian.
And it's also great to see somebody in the White House that says, hey, you know what? I'm a Christian too. And by the way, if you want to try to make a fool of me, why don't I release the full 60 minutes interview so that you can see who's really getting short-tempered here and who's arrogant.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Bottom of the hour weather is brought to you by the folks at Media Partners Group, 188 Main Street in New York Mills. They can take your old videotapes, your old slides, your old films, be they 16 millimeter or 8 millimeter, and get them transferred to digital. DVD, thumb drive, hard drive, whatever it is you would prefer. 768-0277.
Yeah, shouldn't Media Partners Group invest in that a Super 78 or maybe 35 millimeter? Come on, let's.
Oh, you want me to buy one of those 35 millimeter cameras? I couldn't afford the lab fees to develop one roll of 35 millimeter.
You know what's funny? There was an Airy camera with the multiple extra magazines. I can't remember what the model was, but $15,000. They said, sadly, we're going to let this guy go. And I'm looking at it. I'm like,
it was at half price.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And it was a 35 millimeter.
It was a 35.
So if you want to buy film for that baby, you better come up with a chunk of change. I remember I did a film shoot back in the, I forgot.
It was a bank, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure I remember talking to you about it. Yeah, it was one of the bigger banks in the area that I'm not going to give free promotion to.
Yeah, they no longer exist.
Oh, well then never mind. It's not one of the bigger banks in the area, so it must be a different client.
Yeah, it was. It was one of the better banks in the area. They were bought out by one of the other banks, but I think a roll of 16 was around $200 back then, and this is in the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't imagine what a roll of 35 is.
I can only imagine. All right, let's go to Kevin with a look at the forecast.
Now, your Breakfast Club weather forecast.
Hello everyone, I am Kevin James with a quick check of your WVVC weather forecast. For today, Tuesday, look for mainly cloudy skies with a slight chance for a rain shower. Our highs will be in the upper 40s. For tonight, skies will be cloudy as our lows will be in the mid-30s. For tomorrow, Wednesday, we will see mostly cloudy skies early with partly cloudy skies later in the day. Our highs will be in the low 50s. For Wednesday night, we can expect partly cloudy skies in the evening, which will become cloudy on the overnight with a chance for periods of showers after midnight. Our lows will be in the low 40s. For the long-range outlook, cooler temperatures with chances for showers and snow showers will be the rule through the end of the week, with partly cloudy skies over the weekend into the new week. We turn our clocks back 1 hour Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, as it will become 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy that extra hour of rest. With your weather forecast, I'm Kevin James on WVVC, Utica, New York.
Waking you up.
Wake up, you sleepyhead. Get up, get out of bed. See how the sun is shining.
You've got to be kidding me.
It's the Breakfast Club, WVVC FM.
It's the song of sweet redemption. It's the rebel's testimony. It's that broken hallelujah, the voice of those no longer lonely. Oh, coming on strong now, I can hear it. Oh, loud and clear. That's freedom. That's the sound of freedom. When your chains hit the floor, you're not guilty anymore. That's freedom. That's the sound of freedom. Singing, I'm not who I was, all because of Jesus. It's the heartbeat of a soul forgiven. It's the cry of being born again. It's the shout of praise that reaches heaven. A joyful noise you just can't keep in. Oh, coming on strong now, I can hear it. Oh, loud and clear. That's freedom. That's the sound of freedom. When your chains hit the floor, you're not guilty anymore. That's freedom. That's the sound of freedom. Singing, I'm not who I was, all because of Jesus. I can hear it like the rolling thunder, a mighty roar that can't be tamed. The declaration of all God's children, a billion voices lifting up one name. That's freedom. That's the sound of freedom. When your chains hit the floor, you're not guilty anymore. That's freedom. That's the sound of freedom. Singing, I'm not who I was, all because of Jesus. Oh, it's all because of Jesus.
Fell for your first day that I met you. Never dreamed that I ever could forget you. But black and white make a mess when it turned to gray. Sunlight keeps sweeping across the window. Rewind to the time when we were so close. It got me longing for yesterday. But Lord, you know me so well.
I say you had me in your arms, but I fell through the grasp. And yep, I had you in my heart, but I guess I relapsed. Like I'm living for the wrong reasons, through the seasons. Trying to fall for you, but then they put me on blast. It's like I try to speak my mind because I know that I'm his. And yep, I try to speak my mind, but it don't fly with them kids. Man, if I'm not talking about the newest Nikes or releases, they put the mute on me. I can't speak about my Jesus like I'm living for him. I'm slipping this in, I turn around and make the amends. I try to fit in, I mess it up and stumble again. I'm taking this pen and writing everything so I remember just how sweet that it is. Yeah, man, I got issues, I can't even lie. My only saving grace is knowing I got you inside. I'm done with saving face, I don't got a thing to hide. So don't leave me alone, keep coming day and night.
Don't leave me alone. Bust down the door to my heart, Lord, it's your home. You don't need no keys, I'm on my knees, begging you please. I gotta settle this thing once and for all. You got my heart, my soul, you can have it all. I'm on my knees, begging you please, Lord. I'm on my knees, begging you please, Lord. Don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone.
It's Holland right there with the opposite of the introverts theme. That would be the "Please leave me alone." Dun, 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 dun.
And then you find yourself all alone, and it's kind of depressing, and you're wondering, like, I'm all I got.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's really nice to know that Jesus is always there.
Amen.
God is always on the throne, that you always have that backup. You always have that place to go to, that solid foundation.
Yeah.
Okay? All you got to do is believe.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You know, sometimes being alone in your own head is scary, you know, depending on who you
That's
are.
why I don't do that.
Oh, it is 7:44. We were just reading a story out of Ohio.
The Marshals.
That was pretty...
the U.S. Marshals. This is pretty cool. The U.S. Marshals in the month of October made 179 arrests. Were made by the Central Ohio Human Trafficking Task Force. And in addition, over 20 children were located per the request of law enforcement to ensure the child's well-being. And I think that you said that there were over 45 children.
Yes.
In all.
That's the article I
that were
read. Yep.
recovered. This is a big thing that the president has been pushing ever since he became elected, is human trafficking.
Yeah.
And human trafficking is one of the first things that he really came out against. It's being lost.
I don't think people understand how big a problem this is.
It's a big problem. Just ask Mr. Epstein.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't.
Oh, you can't.
Because he didn't kill himself.
Because he didn't kill himself.
Somebody did it for him.
Yeah, there you go.
You don't have to kill yourself. Somebody did it for you, Mr. Epstein.
Yeah.
So, and you can see that there have been several times that federal marshals and federal agents have done these rescue operations.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a couple months ago we talked about one in more down south, like Mississippi, Alabama, and then there was another one in the central south, like Kentucky, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now here in Ohio. Again, so these operations they're out there, they're tracking them down. That's fantastic.
And they are being successful.
Could you imagine being a child caught in this?
Crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is crazy stuff. Now, you want to think here's something else kind of crazy too?
What's that?
There is water on the moon, Al.
Really?
It's true.
Yeah, well, it's good. The Martians can get a drink.
Poor things, yeah, while they're on the way over.
While passing through, yeah.
Stop by and get an ice pop. Actually would be more accurate. They can do the ice pop thing. But actually, the thing is in 2024, we are supposed to be going back to the moon.
Wow.
And according to Donald Trump, we will land the first woman and the next man on the moon. But one of the things they want to do is they want to set up these moon stations.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to set up a moon station, it's kind of hard, to set up a moon station when there's no ice cream stand.
Yeah, there you go.
So they're looking for moonsicles.
Oh, man.
And you know that green cheese aspect?
Yeah.
Well, now they're flavored moonsicles.
There you go.
But actually, they found that there are frozen ice on the moon so that now you can mine water instead of having to truck it all the way from, the Pacific or the Atlantic and send it to the moon. It's already there.
There you go.
So
Perfect.
you can mine it because they want these moon operations to be more sustainable.
There you go.
Look for moonsicles in 2024.
That is some good news right there.
Yeah, actually, it's one of the things. And what's really interesting about it is they're thinking that when the moon was formed and it froze, there are these super cold areas that when things were formed, it froze the water, and when the water was frozen, it's still there. That's why it hasn't evaporated or gone away, because they were thinking that on the sun side of the moon, it would heat up enough that all the water would be gone.
Yeah.
But there are super cold areas, so kind of cool.
So is the water on the moon brought to you by NGEMS?
Yes. How did you know? Was that a segue there?
That's a segue right there.
Oh!
There you go.
Now, you know what the moon needs?
What's that?
Floor covering.
There you go.
It needs a lot of floor covering.
Floor covering on the moon.
So if you want a nice discount on floor covering, instead of going to those big box stores, go see Tony, Mark, and Julie over there at NGEMS. They are at 2010 Oriskany Street West. Their phone number is 753-0421. They are floor covering experts, and I am sure that there are NASA technicians contacting them right now on what kind of floor covering. When you build that little hut on the moon, I mean, what are you going to put on the floor? They would know at NGEMS because they have over 100 years of floor covering experience. They have more experience in floor covering than NASA has in sending people to the moon.
There you go.
See?
I can't think of another reason at all.
Yeah, there you go. So the NGEMS folks are also good enough to sponsor today's proverb.
All right.
And today's proverb is going to come from Proverbs 27:10. Do not forsake your friend or a family or a friend of your family, and do not go to your relative's house when disaster strikes you. Better a neighbor nearby than a relative far away. Be wise, my son, and bring joy to my heart. Then I can answer anyone who treats me with contempt. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Take the garment of one who puts up security for a stranger. Hold it in pledge if it is done for an outsider. If anyone loudly blesses their neighbor early in the morning, it will be taken as a curse.
Are you hurting and broken within? Overwhelmed by the weight of your sin? Jesus is calling. Have you come to the end of yourself? Do you thirst for a drink from the well? Jesus is calling. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open Sing hallelujah, Christ is risen. Bow down before him, for he is Lord of all. Sing hallelujah, Christ is risen. Oh, what a Savior! Isn't he wonderful? Sing hallelujah, Christ is risen. Bow down before him, for he is Lord of all. Sing hallelujah, Christ is risen. Oh, come to the altar, the Father. The precious blood of Jesus Christ. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Bear your cross as you wait for the crown. Tell the world of the treasure you found.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.
Thank you very much. Elvis has left the building. It's elevation worship right there, and oh, come to the altar. It's 7:56 right now on the Breakfast Club. A cloudy start to the day.
Yes.
A little bit dreary outside.
A little bit cloudy. We are going to have a few clouds passing through and stuff like that. 40 degrees out there. But, it could be worse.
Yeah.
Al, we've had worse. I remember when we moved in to New York Mills for the first time when Brian, who is now in his 30s, but he was a young trick-or-treater back then, it snowed. It snowed on Halloween.
Yep. I remember that.
Could be worse.
I remember when I was in high school, going about the town I was in. We, being a teenager as I was, we were pitching pumpkin guts at each other in the little bit of snow on the ground. I remember that. I do remember that. I'm sure back then, praise God, the neighbors were patient with us. We
praise God,
we made a mess.
You kind of got over chucking pumpkin guts
Yes.
at each other.
Yes, that is true.
And we do become older. We become more mature.
That's what they say.
And you end up behind a microphone at WVVC, the Valley Voice for Christ.
That's right.
And you end up in a place where we need you.
Yeah, we do. WVVC is listener supported. If you're out there and you're hearing our voices and you're blessed by what you hear, we are on the air because of you. So if you would consider maybe getting behind WVVC and supporting.
Yes, it would be really nice if you could go to WVVCutica.com, click the donate button. You could do a recurring donation of $5, $10, $20 a month,
Yes.
whatever would suit you. A one-time check mailed to us would be also greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
We actually had somebody help us out with our generator fund.
Yes, as a matter of
recently.
fact, we had one. Technically, we had two different people give $2,500, like in one check, one shot, boom. The first one was a matching gift, and since somebody said, hey, well, if they're going to match, I'll give it too.
I'll match
So
matching gift.
So that $2,500 became $5,000, which I'll tell you what, because the way it works is our facility is in multiple locations. Our studio is down here at the bottom of the hill, but at the top of the hill on a completely different circuit
is the transmitter.
So we need multiple units to keep this station on the air. So that was a blessing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's wonderful. And you could be a blessing, too, if you would be kind enough to do that and go to WVVCUtica.com and donate, or if you could send a check to...
Yeah, 1017 Higbee Road. That's Higby. Higbee Road, New Hartford, New York, 13413. Also want to remind everybody, we have a telethon coming up tomorrow night.
Yes, we do.
For the Rescue Mission of Utica. And there's no better charity in this area, no better cause.
They do help a lot of people.
They
and
do.
Actually, what's surprising is they help them in a lot of different ways. We always think of like the soup kitchen or maybe a temporary overnight shelter kind of thing. But there's a lot more that they do.
There really is, and I didn't know the scope of what they did until we started producing the pieces for this. On top of the men's shelter, they've got the, like you said, the soup kitchen. They have a food pantry, so if you are in need of food and you're in Utica, you can go there and get food. They've got a
halfway house.
Yeah.
Let's say you're you did a bad thing and you're getting out and you're trying to get over the things.
Yeah.
And the other thing that was really fantastic in all of the different programs they do it faith-based.
It is faith-based.
Do you know what your chances of success are when you actually do it from a faith-based approach,
well, they
as
definitely
opposed
go up.
to other mandated approaches that the government does?
Yeah.
It is like 10 times better than 10 times more likely that you will be successful if you take a faith-based approach to the solution.
Okay, let's talk about a house. What's the most important part of a house? Well, I would say the foundation that it sits on.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a good foundation, the rest of it doesn't matter. And
Absolutely.
that's why faith-based organizations like Rescue Mission work, because they put that foundation under them. They give them a solid foundation to build on.
Yep.
That's why it works.
Absolutely.
That's right. And that's coming up tomorrow night at
7 p.m.
Of course, you can donate all day long, and we'll have the number up all day long. So if you want to donate during the day, starting at 7 a.m., the number will be up. But we're going to be live on the air from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., so join us for that. It's going to be a good time.
Yes, indeedy.
And, your weather update brought to you by Forever Leather in the New Hartford Shopping Center.
Charlie Seeley and his herd of cowhide that he has in there.
Yeah.
Coats, jackets, gloves, hats, all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Great prices because Charlie has lots of inventory.
You know what's cool about the jackets that you get down there? They got the zip-in, zip-out liner, so you can wear them during the summer on a brisk night or the fall. But they've got that really warm liner in there, so they are perfect for winter. And he's also got the scarves and the hats and everything else you could need. 315-734-0922.
Now, your Breakfast Club weather forecast.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin James with a quick check of your WVVC weather forecast. For today, Tuesday, look for mainly cloudy skies with a slight chance for a rain shower. Our highs will be in the upper 40s. For tonight, skies will be cloudy as our lows will be in the mid-30s. For tomorrow, Wednesday, we will see mostly cloudy skies early with partly cloudy skies later in the day. Our highs will be in the low 50s. For Wednesday night, we can expect partly cloudy skies in the evening, which will become cloudy on the overnight with a chance for periods of showers after midnight. Our lows will be in the low 40s. For the long-range outlook, cooler temperatures with chances for showers and snow showers will be the rule through the end of the week, with partly cloudy skies over the weekend into the new week. We turn our clocks back 1 hour Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, as it will become 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy that extra hour of rest. With your weather forecast, I'm Kevin James on WVVC Utica, New York.
First on your FM dial, WVVC Dolgeville, Utica, Rome. Inspo Radio 88.1 FM.
I can see the clouds rolling. I can feel the winds, they try to shake me. I will not be moved. My feet are on the rock. can feel the waters rise. I can hear the howling lights that haunt me. Fear won't hold me now. My feet are on the rock. When I feel my heart about to break, I will cling to your unchanging grace. Let the waters come and the earth give way. I'll be dancing in the rain. My feet are on the rock. I can see the morning light. I can feel the joy on the horizon. Here my faith is found. I stand on solid ground. When I feel my hope about to break, I will cling to your unchanging grace. Let the waters come and the earth give way. I'll be dancing in the rain. My feet are on the rock. On Christ the solid rock I stand. All of the ground is sinking sand. So stomp your feet and clap your hands. Our feet are on the rock. On Christ the solid rock I stand. All of the ground is sinking sand. So stomp your feet and clap your hands. Our feet are on the rock. On Christ the solid rock I stand. All of the ground is sinking sand. So stomp your feet and clap your hands. Our feet are on the rock. When I feel my hope about to break, I will cling to your unchanging grace. Let the waters come and the earth give way. I'll be dancing in the rain. When I feel my hope about to break, I will cling to your unchanging grace. Let the waters come and the earth give way. I'll be dancing in the rain. My feet are on the rock. My feet are on the rock. My feet are on the rock.
Ooh. Hey, listen, just because I can't sing doesn't mean I won't sing.
Maybe they should have invited you in to do the chorus section.
They
on
should
that,
have.
You know, Al?
They should have. So we've got a guest that's going to be in studio in the next half hour.
We do. Barbara Ames is going to be with us to discuss pro-life positions.
Yeah.
And actually, she's also going to talk about Mr. Brindisi's authoring of not so pro-life positions in the past. That's going to be very interesting. She'll be joining us at the bottom of the hour after the weather. That's going to be cool.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I learned some things that I did not know, and I don't know why I didn't know them, but I didn't know them last week. I caught a video from a Christian blogger that I'm very familiar with, and he actually broke something down that I didn't think about, because everybody's focused on the overturning of Roe v. Wade.
Right.
Everybody's focused. And he pointed out that the Republicans have had a majority in the Supreme Court multiple times.
Yes, and Roe v. Wade was not overturned.
And it has not been overturned.
Right.
But then he also says, that focus, while very well intended, may not be the first necessary focus, because he broke it down. If you were to overturn Roe v. Wade, it would give you something like 12% decrease in abortions.
Oh?
Because it will not make abortion illegal.
Right.
What it actually does is it pushes us back to the Roe v. Wade days when the states decided the law. And something that I didn't realize, do you know that abortion was around a century, 2 centuries ago?
Yeah.
It's been around for a very long time.
Oh, it's been around a long time, yeah.
Very long time. So I can't wait to get into this conversation, because I'll tell you what, it's a topic that's near and dear to my heart. I'm a father of 7, and just the idea of one child, losing one child to this barbaric thing.
Amen.
Just awful.
Yep.
Your news update brought to you by Dr. Uniforms, 1311 Oriskany Street West in Utica.
Dr. Uniforms, the home of shiny new toques, cool professional chef's leather jackets. You can spifficate your wardrobe if you're in the medical profession.
Total
you can do that kind of thing.
Spiffification of your wardrobe.
Total spiffification.
Spiffification. That's a real.
He's also got cool gadgets.
Yes.
Whether you're medical professional, law professional, you need one of those cool things to show your badges.
Yeah.
Badges? We ain't got no badges.
Yeah.
Because we don't got no badge holders. So I want the doctor uniforms. I got a badge holder. Now I got me a badge.
315-266-0093 is the number. Dr. Uniforms down there on the boulevard.
Now, your local headlines from the Breakfast Club.
All right, so off the top, the Madison County Sheriff's Office investigating a shooting. Is that
A shooting?
A shooting on Button Falls Road in Brookfield. Call came in right after 4 p.m. yesterday for a male shooting victim. The sheriff say he was taken to a... It's not funny, but I accidentally pronounced it that way, and now that's going to be the way I pronounce it from now on. Sheriff say he was taken to a hospital with leg injury, which they say is non-life-threatening. The sheriff's office has not released the details of that incident or the name of the shooter. They did say that it's an isolated incident, so you don't have to worry about it. No danger to the community. The shooting is still under investigation at this time. And in a time when we couldn't possibly be more comfortable with the election system that we have in place, a hacker attack against a Central New York County's computer system has raised concern that some emailed absentee ballot applications may not be processed. But the State Board of Elections said Monday that voting in Chenango County won't be affected overall.
Emailed absentee ballots?
Emailed applications.
Oh, emailed applications for ballots.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't see how that would affect the vote, applications to vote. The county's Board of Elections released a public statement last week advising anyone who emailed an absentee ballot application after October 15th, call and verify that it had been received. Herman Erickson, the county's information technology director, said that the cyber attack encrypted about 200 county computers, demanding a ransom of $450 each to unlock the files. Now, if you're not familiar with ransomware, it tends to affect PCs more than Macs if you're if you're a Mac user, but you're still not immune. What it does is when your computer, it literally, you'll get a pop-up that says, "Hey, we have your computer. If you would like your computer back, $450 will do it." They sell you back your stuff is what they do. It's criminal.
They steal your car and they'll sell you your car back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's essentially.
I have a car. I wish they would do that. Here's $5. Keep it.
Keep it. So, needless to say, they're saying they're not going to pay for those files back. They're simply going to wipe those computers and start over.
Okay.
All right.
Does that work? Or is it the easiest solution?
Hopefully the applications aren't lost, but okay. There you go. And Whitesboro residents who were affected by last year's...
Maybe they had a backup, Al, and they can just wipe the computer and put the backup in.
Maybe.
There you go.
Maybe. Whitesboro residents who were affected by last year's Halloween floods have about 3 weeks left to apply for a federal buyout. Applications must be submitted by Friday, November 13th, can be sent by mail, email, or dropped off at Whitesboro Town Hall on Clarks Mills Road. A quote from Anthony Pacente says, "It is imperative that those interested in applying for this federal buyout program meet this deadline, as it will be the only chance they will have to do so." Oneida County and the town of Whitestown have worked hard to make this opportunity available at the behest of residents of Whitesboro and will not get this chance again. This is the only time a federal buyout will be offered, and without enough applications, the funding is in jeopardy.
Oh, so if you are in one of those places. Now, I don't know if they were always flooded out, but I do notice that it's recently seemed to be popping up more and more.
Yeah.
Especially after the Walmart Plaza was done.
Oh, yeah.
Since it was built on the swampland.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Even Sangertown Square was built on swamp.
Yes, it was.
And when they did that, all of the patterns changed. The water has to go somewhere.
As a matter of fact, back in the day, shortly after Sangertown, I think it was 2 or 3 years, there were beavers in that big creek around there, and the beavers built a dam, and the water was rising up in the dam, and it was getting into the electrical room of Sangertown Mall.
Wow.
And they actually had to shut down the mall because the water got so high, but New York State EPA would not allow them to get rid of the beavers that were building the dam, so it became a big issue. As to whether or not are we going to shut down the mall because of a couple of beavers, and they actually had to go to New York State EPA, the full bureaucracy thereof, and allow them. I think eventually what happened is they sent a team to capture the beavers and move them to a dam safe site.
Did they go to the state or go to the EPA and say, come on, man?
I'm sure the beavers were like, come on, man.
We need to put them beavers in cages. Yeah. All right, real quick, let's do this day in history, all right?
Okay.
Okay, in 1904, the first section of the New York subway opened. That was the Lower Manhattan to Broadway, Harlem, opened by Interborough Rapid Transit. How much? Guess how much the fare was?
2 cents.
A little bit more. 1 nickel.
A nickel.
You were close. You were close. In 1913, President Woodrow Wilson says the U.S. will never attack another country.
Guess who else said something along the same lines when he was running for president?
Who was that?
In 1939, FDR said, I will not send our boys over there. And he was promising the American people that we would not go into another European war. Yep. And meanwhile, he basically had Churchill on the phone saying, hold on, buddy, hold on, we're going to be there soon.
Yeah.
And promising while he was running for election, I will not send our boys over there. Hey, Winston, hang on a minute.
Hang on. Here's one. 1942, U.S. aircraft carrier Hornet sinks. Off of Santa Cruz.
The USS Hornet is also what launched the famous Doolittle flight, the bombing over Tokyo in 1942, when Japan was at its maximum reach. Shortly after Pearl Harbor, it was April 42. So it's 4 months after Pearl Harbor, Japan. And one of the things you got to think of is if you look on the other side of the Pacific, after they got done with us, they destroyed the British Navy in the Pacific. Okay, they went through, and if you think what happened at Pearl Harbor was bad, I'm reading Churchill's account of this. He was absolutely devastated. He had their top-of-the-line ships were taken out by the Japanese with hardly a loss of a lot of the Japanese ships. Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So that was the Hornet was responsible for Doolittle and the B-25s, 30 seconds over Tokyo.
Nice. 1917. Sorry, I skipped a couple things. Here we go. 1954, first TV show, Disneyland, premieres on ABC. That's Walt Disney's first TV show. Premiered on ABC. Now, today they own ABC. In 1955.
Good point.
Yeah, in 1955, Rebel Without a Cause.
James Dean.
James Dean and Natalie Wood released to theaters.
Yeah, James Dean, I think, only did, 3 movies in his entire career?
I believe so,
and then he had the tragic accident driving a Ford Shelby Cobra.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. 1962, Black Saturday during the Cuban Missile Crisis. An American spy plane shot down over Cuba, and the Navy drops warning depth charges on Soviet submarines. 1962. In 1969, Ralph Nader sets up a consumer organization known as Nader's Raiders.
I did not know there was a Nader's Raiders.
You didn't know there was a Nader's
Raiders?
Raiders?
I knew he did all sorts of things where he would find products that were faulty.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, the press would pick up on it, and whoever it was, boy, you were a hurting puppy when Ralph Nader was done with you.
Wasn't Ralph Nader involved in the expose behind the Ford Pinto?
Could be.
The unsafe at any speed?
Unsafe at any speed was a Corvair.
That's right.
Because the Corvair was rear-wheel drive, so he came up and it basically killed the Corvair.
Yeah.
But there was the thing years after that about the Ford Pinto. Was it the 70s?
You basically
because the gas tank was in the back.
It was in the way back. You tapped the bumper on that thing and you'd cause a fire. Insane. In 1992, Tipper Gore, the future wife of, or the wife of the future VP from that point, admits to covering the clock on her VCR with black tape so she wouldn't have to see it blink. I don't know why that's on this day in history, but it is, and it kind of cracked me up. Oh, and can you say irony? Because I got some here.
Irony?
1997, Microsoft argues that it should be free from government interference.
Look at what that got us.
I was going to say, now today we've got Bill Gates.
They lost that argument, right?
Oh, they did, yeah.
And but now Google won their argument, and so now Google, Facebook, and Twitter are like, we talk about government overreach. Let's talk about social overreach.
Yes, and I don't know if you heard, but the details leaked out last night about Google paying Apple to be their default search engine on the iPhone. You know how much they pay them per year to be that default search engine? $8 billion.
Wow,
that's
a chunk of change.
That's not a small chunk of change, but it says that they put some investment in your eyeballs. They want you and everything about you.
Yeah.
Your WVVC gas tracker brought to you by Big Dog Motors down there in Frankfurt.
We want to get to know you.
Yeah.
Everything about you.
Getting to know
so we can sell you. Yes. Big Dog Motors. The Gook has got everything you need to keep your wheels rolling smooth. He's got body shop. He's got the mechanical shop. He's got all those fancy tools, to diagnose what it is you got going on with your car. Tow trucks and even gently pre-owned vehicles.
Yes.
Yeah,
previously
like a certain
enjoyed.
red pickup that Al has got his eye on.
Absolutely. 315-444-9028 is the number. BigDogMotorsInc.com is the web address. They're located 4262 Acme Road in Frankfurt. Nobody beats the Gook. Cheapest gas today, BJ's 207. Put that membership to use. Mohawk Fuel also 207 today.
They're battling it out.
Yes, they are. Kinney Drugs on Oriskany Boulevard, 213. Speedway down there by the mills is 218. North Genesee Street Speedway, 219. Oriskany Boulevard Speedway, 219. Sunoco and A Plus is not 219. It's 221. Stewart Shops on
How
Utica
dare they
Street.
ruin our chorus?
Stewart Shops on Utica Street down there near Clinton, 226. Fast Track on Oriskany Street West, 229. That's your gas prices for the day. What's going on outside the area, Walt?
Well, you may have heard, Al, that Amy Coney Barrett
I did kind of hear that, yeah.
voted through the Senate last night.
Yeah, Democrats are thrilled.
And shortly thereafter, she was escorted to the Rose Lawn of the White House and sworn in as our newest Supreme Court justice.
Well, Trump said that he was going to make this happen before the elections, and another promise kept.
Frankly, yeah. And actually, I think that our chief of the Senate there did a rather good job of navigating it through all the whining and complaining and gnashing of teeth that you normally see when there's a Supreme Court candidate.
And immediately after this happened, AOC tweeted, not only should we expand the court, we should also stop reaching across the aisle.
Oh, how friendly.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the spirit of working together.
Yeah. In the spirit of working together, let's not work together.
It's a socialist or death.
Yeah,
take
pretty
your
much.
pick. You sound like in World War II, the Soviets had these guys, Stavka, and like when in the siege of Leningrad, okay, the city is sieged. There's no food. There's no water. You want to leave Leningrad. So you start to grab your stuff and you start to head out on the road. And the Stavka would stop you and they'd say, turn around and go back. And you would say, why? And they would say,
oh.
Everybody else in line turned around and went back. Okay? If you were in the front lines and you were told to charge and you would say that there's a machine gun up there, bang.
Yeah.
Okay, all you other guys charge.
Yeah.
See how this friendly form of communist persuasion works?
Yes.
Okay. So long as you do what they say, you're probably going to die either way.
Yeah.
really
probably.
quick. But they leave you no choice. So I think that our AOC needs to read this side of history.
Yeah.
And what these guys did. I actually read an article in one of the World War II magazines that I used to get before it actually turned into one of these more politically correct magazines. So I stopped the subscription. There was a guy that was a member of Stavka who was very proud of the fact that he helped save Mother Russia. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Insane.
So, back to today's news. Amy Coney Barrett, not only was she passed the Senate last night, but she was sworn in on the Rose Lawn last night.
Yep.
And in more unfortunate matters, in Philadelphia, the police tried to arrest a man after a domestic dispute. He pulls a knife. He starts chasing down the officers. He was shot. And so now in Philadelphia, you have rioting, burning, looting. And it seemed that this happened really quick. Almost like they imported people especially for the job.
Oh, don't say that. That's conspiracy, unproven.
Oh, it is. You're right. It is.
Yeah, unproven.
I don't know, but it has happened in the past. Or it was proven.
Somebody shared the Paul Revere's Midnight Ride, where he yells, "The British are coming."
Right.
And they said if it happened in the days of Facebook, it showed the pop-up thing. Partly true. Only some of
this
the.
has not been substantiated. You know.
Partly true. Only some of the British are coming.
So somebody please cover up the light.
Oh man. Yeah.
So the protests in Philadelphia are turning violent. And actually, there was a case where the police had formed a line and they were pushing back protesters to try to bring peace back onto the streets. And somebody in a giant pickup with, we're talking the rock climbing kind of tires on it and everything like that, ran over a cop in the line.
Incredible.
And they actually did, were able to take into custody the person that was driving the truck. And the officer, we don't know the condition of the officer, but in Philadelphia, things are, they were really hot last night. Hopefully they'll calm down today and things will get under control today.
If that happened in New York, they'd arrest the guy and then put him back out on the street. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. Well, welcome to New York.
If you recall, a while back, Trump was being interviewed by 60 Minutes. And Trump released the entire 60 Minutes footage so that you could see how it was Leslie Stahl that was kind of short-tempered, that was kind of angry, that was kind of mean, that was kind of aggressive. And she was saying, we're 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like...
I think Trump put the mainstream media on notice that day. Because I don't know how he got the video, if it was a cell phone recording or what exactly it was, but he made it known that you will not play these games.
Yes.
The
games where we make you look short-tempered, where we make you look like this, or we make you look like that, because we carefully edited the sections where I was aggressive to you and you were aggressive back to me, but I'm only going to show the you aggressive to me part.
This sure wouldn't be the first case of the mainstream media cleverly editing a piece.
Or kind of like a well-edited Twitter.
Yeah.
It's like where I provoke, and then, somebody snapped. Look at those people there, like, oh my gosh.
I think of Nick Sandman, where they zoom in on his face and then show him and the Native American guy, and you know nothing about what happened around it.
Right. They covered up what happened around it.
Yep.
Okay, because it was the Native Americans that marched to the kids,
yes.
and they made it sound like the kids were provoking the Native Americans.
Yes.
When actually they were there for a totally different event.
That's
they
right.
They were actually there for a pro-life event.
That's right.
That's why they were there.
And you know what? This is the most photographed generation. Don't think you're not going to get found out when you play these games. You will be found out. And in the case of the mainstream media against Nick, Nick didn't take it. He took it to court is actually what he did.
Nicely. Well, actually, he did stand there and he held his ground.
Well, he did, but I'm talking about the abuse from the media.
Yes.
He didn't take.
That was unprovoked.
Yes.
And that was uncalled for, which is why they're being sued.
Yep.
Because it wasn't unprovoked. They lied.
They lied.
Yes, absolutely. They did what Tricky Dick did.
Yeah.
They lied.
They lied.
Okay.
That's right. And you have a responsibility in the media to tell the truth.
Speaking of pro-life events, we do have Barbara Ames from Deansboro, who's a retired nurse, a pro-life person, that will be joining us at the bottom of the hour. But worldwide, 31 countries sign a document declaring there is no international right to abortion.
Hallelujah.
Because you actually have, I think it was United Nations was trying to set out something that said that women have the right to abortion, and so this is the counter to that.
Yeah.
And the United States, along with 31 other countries, on Thursday signed a document declaring there is no international right to abortion. Yeah. And the 2-page Geneva Consensus Declaration on Protecting Women's Health and Strengthening the Family was co-sponsored by U.S., Brazil, Egypt, Hungary, Indonesia, and Uganda. Can you get a little more widespread than that?
Yeah.
I didn't see anybody on the moon going, hey, me too. But there probably is.
I do remember close to 2 decades ago the wailing and gnashing of teeth when George W. Bush put through a law saying that an unborn child has rights, meaning an unborn child can get health care. By declaring an unborn child a person, you throw up another obstacle against abortion, and man, did that cause some wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Yes, I'll bet it did.
Yeah.
I'll bet it did. So we are now at the bottom of the hour, and the bottom of the hour weather is brought to you by the folks at Media Partners Group. You can get your old videotapes, your old films, your old slides, put onto a thumb drive, put onto a DVD, or maybe you want to put on a portable hard drive. If you have a whole lot of videos, you want to put on a portable hard drive.
Yeah.
And their number is 768-0277. They're located at 75 Main Street in New York Mills.
75 Main Street?
Oh, 188 Main Street.
188 Main Street. I was going to say, did you move?
I read the card wrong.
Now, your Breakfast Club weather forecast.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin James with a quick check of your WVVC weather forecast. For today, Tuesday, look for mainly cloudy skies with a slight chance for a rain shower. Our highs will be in the upper 40s. For tonight, skies will be cloudy as our lows will be in the mid-30s. For tomorrow, Wednesday, we will see mostly cloudy skies early with partly cloudy skies later in the day. Our highs will be in the low 50s. For Wednesday night, we can expect partly cloudy skies in the evening, which will become cloudy on the overnight with a chance for periods of showers after midnight. Our lows will be in the low 40s. For the long-range outlook, cooler temperatures with chances for showers and snow showers will be the rule through the end of the week, with partly cloudy skies over the weekend into the new week. We turn our clocks back 1 hour Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, as it will become 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy that extra hour of rest. With your weather forecast, I'm Kevin James on WVVC, Utica, New York.
Best part of waking up is
The Breakfast Club, WVVC 88.1 FM.
when I was searching, your love was never far. You made a way to get to me. You were the whisper leading me to your heart. Forever I belong to you. Now I can see clearly, my God, you for me. You won't let go. Your love won't let me down. And I know it's true. Yeah, I know that your love is all around. I believe in you, holding on to you, holding on, and I know you will never fail. I want all of you, you never change. Your love won't let me down. Love won't let me Love won't let Love won't let me. Right when I need you, you listen as I pray. You leave the 99 for me. You paint the sky with promises of your grace. So I will find my way to you. Now I can see clearly, my God, you for me. You won't let go. Your love
Hillsong, Young and Free. And speaking of young and free, we're going to be talking about the really, really, really young this morning.
The really young. We have Barbara Ames of Deansboro with us today here. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. And you are a pro-life person. You said that before you were always like when you were a nurse, you're trying to protect people and help people.
Absolutely.
And
relieve their pain, see them recover.
Right.
And be there for the patient. And this is upsetting. It gets me right in the pit
now
of my stomach.
in this situation, we have laws that are coming out, and even here in New York State, you can have an abortion even at the 9th month.
True.
Even as the baby is just about to be born.
True.
And this is something you were mentioning before we were on the air, that this is something that was co-sponsored?
Co-sponsored by our Congressman, Anthony Brindisi, when he was assemblyman.
Here in New York State.
Here in New York State, exactly. And I have problems with that. He's bragging about all the legislation he has pushed and gotten through, and President Trump has signed. And why isn't he sending out a flyer over what he did co-sponsor this abortion bill, if he's so proud of his past accomplishments?
And I noticed that he doesn't talk about it in his commercials.
Not at all.
Yeah.
That's hidden, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, you take a look at most of his commercials, and you can hardly... they're hardly about his accomplishments. They're all pretty much attack ads, most of them.
And
About
lies.
80%. Yeah.
Terrible lying about Claudia. And when she's done most of the legwork, and then he takes credit for it.
Yeah.
But this abortion thing, I wish he'd send out a flyer. Come on.
Well,
Get it out there.
We have a real fight on our hands when it comes to the abortion issue, because like we were talking about last half hour, I learned, I never knew this, that overturning Roe v. Wade would probably save maybe 12%. It would probably bring it down by about 12%, because the issue is in the states. At the end of the day, it's at the local level. If you are a pro-life person, you need to be addressing your local congressman, your local senators, all the assembly. You need to be addressing your local representatives.
Exactly, and that's why Cuomo has to go.
Yeah, you're right.
Because he signed this.
Oh, yeah.
Catholic Cuomo.
Yeah.
Who bragged about going to Catholic school and being an altar boy, and how he gave his updates, his coronavirus updates every day, which was very good. I give him credit for that.
Yeah.
And he was boasting how if he saved but one life for everything he was doing, he got the comfort ship here and had hospitals built and PPE and all this. And I thought, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Saving one life when you signed this horrendous abortion bill?
Yeah.
So that bothered me.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm composing in my head a letter to our bishop out in Syracuse, right? Well, then I went to Mass, and lo and behold, this is unbelievable, but there stood the bishop in my church. And I sat in the pew, and I said, okay, God, okay. The bishop said the Mass. He was done, and he said at the end of the Mass, I'll be outside if anyone would like to come and speak with me. And I thought, oh, yes, this is it. So I waited until everyone else had gone through, and then it was the bishop and I alone.
Yep.
And I explained to him all about Cuomo and everything, and he's shaking his head up and down. He never said a word, but he's shaking his head, yes, yes, yes. And I said, Bishop, I have a question. It's been bothering me. Cuomo's Catholic. Is he allowed to receive Holy Communion in the Catholic Church? And he said no.
Yeah.
Oh?
Yes.
I was not aware of that.
A lot of people aren't.
Oh.
He cannot receive communion in the Catholic Church.
Oh.
And he told me that the bishops and the cardinal met with Cuomo and explained this to him. And apparently it's still okay with him.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing. Your faith can't be that important if you don't care.
Yeah, but why is he bragging that he's a Catholic? I mean, he included all of us then.
I can tell you why he's bragging. He's bragging because he's trying to appeal to that particular audience. And in my mind, that means he's thinking you're dumb. He's taking you for a fool.
Yeah, really.
You know?
But how two-faced? Think about it.
Yeah.
just think how two-faced our governor is.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've got to start at the top with him and get him out and work down.
The problem that we have in this state is New York City.
Right.
It literally leans so far to the left that getting a non-Democrat in that seat, and that's the issue. The abortion issue is a Democrat issue. They are, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some Republicans who are for it, but the Democrats, I can't think of one that's against it. You know,
I think one of the great shames that has happened in New York State was when that abortion bill passed and the assembly applauded.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I mean, how can you applaud the fact that you've just made it legal to kill what is virtually just about a born child?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Okay, we're talking about up to 9 months now. What's next? You give birth and decide, no, I don't like the color. I don't like the shade.
Like Virginia.
I don't like the nose.
Exactly, Virginia.
You know?
The baby can be born, and the mother decides she doesn't want the baby. And I listened to the governor speak on TV about that from Virginia, and he said, well, we take the baby into another room and make the baby comfortable. Give me a break. They killed this baby that was born.
Do you know how many families would adopt a child? How many families can't have their own children?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Holy cow.
And this is just strictly, there are other ways of preventing this from happening. I mean, I can't understand these females who don't realize that this is a human being. God gave them this incredible gift to replenish the earth, to carry this human being in her body. And remember when it was you were eating for two?
Yep.
Remember those days?
Yeah.
And you didn't smoke and you didn't drink and you did all these things because of that baby, which in this bill, this little human is not called a baby. It's a product of conception.
Yeah.
After this little human is born.
Not even
then
a child.
Not even a child. Think about that.
Yeah. Well, you know, here's the other thing. In New York State, or at least in Utica, and I know some other places, if you're a mother and you've decided that after you've had this baby that you don't want this baby, you know, you can go to a fire department or a hospital and you can surrender the baby. In some places, they have almost like a drop box.
That's right.
You can literally put the baby in a box and leave.
No questions asked.
No questions asked.
Exactly.
Why would you do something like abortion? That's the part that gets me. It really, like you said, hits me right in the gut. I can't even. It's sickening.
It is, and
So
I don't know.
You were saying that when Brindisi was assemblyman, and he wrote this bill, so he's responsible for.
Well, actually, did he write it or did he just
co-sponsor
it?
He co-sponsored it.
Yes.
An individual by the last name is Glick, from what I understand from the documentation I have.
Okay.
Actually sponsored it, and Brindisi was one of the co-sponsors.
Yep.
But he's just as responsible.
That's right.
I mean,
absolutely.
It's there. He is. And according to a book I have, The 10 Commandments of God, anyone who endorses anyone such as that is an accomplice to the murder.
Well, think about this. Let's say somebody goes and kills somebody and you're with them and you don't stop them. Guess what? In a court of law, you're guilty.
Or if you're riding in a car and someone has drugs and you don't know about it, but if they're stopped and the drugs are found, guess what?
Yep. You're an accomplice.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. And another thing I want to bring out, what's in this legislation is, say previously if a mother was murdered and she was pregnant, a mother-to-be, the murderer was given 2 counts of murder.
2 counts.
Yes.
Not any longer. It's just 1 count.
Oh?
Yeah. The baby doesn't count anymore.
Incredible.
Isn't that sick?
It is.
Oh,
that is sick.
No kidding.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And that's part of that law?
Yeah, it's true. Wow. And not only that, this is what gets me too, is a doctor does not need to perform, just a qualified person. Someone can be trained, be qualified. I mean, as a nurse, there's so many things that can go wrong.
I thought the excuse for these bills was about women's health.
I know, you got it.
So now when you're having an operation, a woman doesn't get a doctor.
No.
She gets somebody that's quote-unqute qualified.
Exactly.
And how do you know what qualified is?
Yeah, what is the extent of that training? Right, exactly.
Is there any standard for what qualified is? For what makes it qualified?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. I don't know the answer
somebody
to that.
that knows how to sharpen scissors, does that count?
Here's the reality. There have been cases where this has gone horribly wrong, and you know what? There have been cases where they did because, not everybody knows this, but a lot of those who perform abortions don't necessarily have any kind of rights admitting rights to a hospital.
Yeah,
they're not associated. And
exactly.
Yes, if something goes wrong,
bleeding is a big thing.
Yes,
bleeding or any type of reaction. What does this qualified person do?
That's right.
Who is not even a nurse?
Yep.
And I can't see where this is helping women.
Yeah.
Right.
This is going backwards to the old days when they went somewhere to some building somewhere and had a
back
quack.
alley thing.
Yeah, the back alley.
That's
exactly.
That's what we hear about all the time. Well, if you make abortion illegal, they're just going to go and do it themselves. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That becomes murder.
It would behoove us to look at the root cause of why women are having these abortions. Okay, so let's go back and let's see what kind of societal training is setting society up that we end up having women out of wedlock becoming pregnant without fathers that either don't want to be or aren't prepared to be fathers, and perhaps young women that aren't prepared to be mothers.
Sounds to me like a lack of parenting and a lack of morals.
And because what do you see coming out of schools nowadays?
Yeah.
You have that same kind of a training. It's like, oh, this is okay. That's okay. And now not only are they training you not only to go ahead and be promiscuous, but you don't even have to be promiscuous. If you're a guy, you don't even have to be promiscuous with a woman.
Yeah.
They're training you how to be weirder and weirder ways.
Yeah.
For shame.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
That raises another issue, though. You said about the man, the father. Where are his rights in this? Suppose he would like that child.
Yes. He has no rights.
He has no rights, and that's not right.
Yeah.
Every baby has a mother and a father.
Yep.
And he should have some say into this. I mean, look at the women that have these children and don't marry the father, but they go after the guy for support.
That's right.
So, wait a minute. There's something wrong here.
Again, a double standard.
A double standard, exactly. So, I don't know. But I would like to mention, too, I saw the movie Unplanned. I don't know if you guys
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, my goodness gracious. It shows an actual abortion.
Oh.
It shows the baby. I'm going to guess gestation, maybe 4.5 months, fully formed little baby.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this little baby is trying to wiggle away from something. The baby, just think about his reasoning already. There's a brain there thinking, something's wrong here. Something's in my space that wasn't there before. And this, I'm afraid, and it's the suction coming after the baby.
Yeah.
So think about that. The baby is reasoning. So look at the fear the baby suffered, and then the pain that baby must have suffered.
Yeah.
How anyone could do this, I don't know. I just don't know.
Wow.
And that's why I just do not respect.
So, anything that, tries to protect itself and is in fear, that there's a brain there that realizes what's going on.
Exactly.
Okay. So you must know. And, the idea that you have this concept that is now out there with liberals that says, save the puppies but kill the babies.
Yeah.
Where are we at in society? We're doing things way wrong. We need to turn it around.
Yeah. I had a conversation with somebody about this, about what makes a human being, and they tried to sell to me the idea that if it cannot live on its own power outside of the womb, it's not a person.
Oh my gosh.
I heard that one. I'm like, but what if that was you?
That's sick.
What if that was you? You wouldn't be standing here to talk to me right now.
Exactly. We all started in the womb.
That's right.
And here we are today. Thank God.
We are all
our mothers didn't abort us.
We are all individually created, people.
Yeah.
We have our own personalities, our own everything. And when you do something like this, you are robbing a human being, of their God-given rights.
Absolutely.
It's sad.
I have such respect for the animal rights individuals. They have fought for the rights of the animals. And see, I'm a farm gal. raised on a farm, and farming, is my life besides nursing. But what I have seen, I'd like to tell the story of my son and I talk about this. It happened long, long time ago. We were in the barn, and this cow was in labor, and she was having such a hard time. A big Holstein cow, a very large cow. And she was laboring and laboring. Finally, the front feet came out, and we could see by the size of the hoofs, oh boy, this is one big, most likely a bull calf. Huge.
Yeah.
So we pulled and we pulled and we pulled and we worked. We finally got that calf out, and he was dead. He was dead. And, my son really worked trying to revive him. My arms were shot from pulling. And the mother cow in her stall, she's going from side to side and bellowing and just swinging her head. I thought she's going to snap her neck. So my son says, well, I'm going to pull her calf up in front of her. Maybe it'll calm her down, because she was going crazy.
Yeah.
Never saw anything like this. And so he pulled the calf up in front of her, and she started licking this calf. Oh, I get so... And then she stopped, and she worked her head under the body of her dead baby, and she lifted him, and she threw that calf up into the air. He came down hard on the cement and started to breathe.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. He started to breathe. That mother cow brought her dead baby back to life.
wow.
We gave him back to her, and she licked him like all the moms do. He was fine. He was fine. Talk about a miracle, right? But that mother, and I've seen these so many times. I've got horses, and we had all the cows, and I've raised Nigerian dwarf goats and rabbits and ducks and pigs. I mean, all of them. You see these animals interact, and it's so beautiful how they protect their young. These mothers, what they won't do to protect their young.
Right.
And what are our girls doing?
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Yep.
And I agree with you. It's at home. It's at home.
It is.
The moms better get on the ball. What I'm seeing out there, and I'm at these rallies, I'm on that roadside. I think I've only missed one or maybe two rallies. And I don't like what I'm seeing. The young girls, they love their middle finger.
Yeah, they
And
do.
the obscenities that are thrown.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
terrible. And where are
It
the
is.
parents? Something is really, really wrong. And,
Yeah,
somebody
and-
could get a handle on it.
Well, here's the problem. There's an attack on the nuclear family. There's an
Yes.
attack on the mother-father thing. And you're finding a lot more no-father pictures.
Yeah.
And those broken families, they don't end well.
Right, that's right. That's right.
And speaking of rallies, we have a rally coming up actually tomorrow.
Yes.
And it's going to be in Stittville
Stittville, yes. I have the paperwork here.
from 3 to 6.
3 to 6. Here we go. It's at the Sunoco station, the corner of Routes 365 and 291. 3 to 6. Yes, please come join us. We have a great time. The Blues Brothers will be there, and the
Okay.
vendors, and they are fantastic.
Yes, they are.
Oh my goodness gracious, I love
So
them.
this is going to be another Back the Blue Trump
yes,
Tenny
we
rally.
always do. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we always do that.
And then there's
And,
going to be a final
the
rally
grand finale
at the Harley Davidson dealership.
Right.
Sunday, November 1st.
Yes.
Okay, and it's going to be from 1 to 4.
That's awesome.
Actually, there was a pretty good crowd at the last one that was over there at the Harley rally.
Oh my goodness, we are drawing such crowds. It's unbelievable. And they join us. They come with their flags and everything, and the whole street, both sides, a lot of times of the streets are filled.
Now, that Harley Davidson dealer, is that the one right here in Utica?
Right on Commercial Drive.
Commercial Drive.
Right on
So it's
Commercial Drive.
Harley Davidson in Utica. Very cool.
Yep.
I think that's New York Mills, actually.
Technically, it is,
Technically,
yep.
I think so. But anyway, everybody knows we're Harley Davidson.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I love it when the bikers come. It's fantastic. It's just great. The excitement, the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
It's there. Let me
It
tell
is
you.
great, and that's another thing you see. I mean, I've attended a few of the rallies, and I have seen a great enthusiasm on the Republican side, on the Claudia Tenney side, and it's all just been a great big party.
Yeah.
We were counter-protested a few times by the quote-unquote Black Lives Matter
Oh, yeah.
people and
Yeah.
the Antifa people.
Yeah.
And it was like I didn't see a whole lot of happiness over there.
No.
Yeah.
You know, it was all wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of a thing.
The only thing I will say about the Black Lives Matter group in Utica is it's not actually a splinter off the national. It's a group of people who actually, you know, are trying to. They're a better group. Let's put it that way. They're not the violent group that's.
They're not as Marxist Antifa infested as some of the other groups.
They actually care about the African American community. I don't have a lot bad to say about the local Black Lives Matter group. Now, the local Antifa group, that's a whole other ball of wax. That's a different group.
Well, the ones that come to our rallies are nasty.
Yeah.
Their signs are terrible. You know, defund the pigs.
Yeah.
I mean, just and that F word spelled out, big bold
yeah.
letters. And here families are driving by in their car and you see little children. They shouldn't be subjected to something like that. But they are nasty.
Yes.
Nasty. And, of course, we support the blue.
Yep.
And so it's not nice, the signs that they have, and
Oh, yeah.
their language really bad.
I think overall, most of them have given up now since it's been pretty.
Well, they stopped counter-protesting, and I think one of the biggest reasons they stopped counter-protesting is because every rally they showed up at, they were outnumbered 10-1.
Easily, yeah.
Okay? At the Big Apple rally, there was easily 120 outside the corner there at Big Apple, and there was about 12 people across the street.
Yeah.
I think there was almost over 150 at the rally that was over in Schuyler at the diner.
At Dave's Diner, yeah.
And maybe, I mean, at the peak, maybe 15 people showed up.
You got it.
And
But it was usually around 10.
And did you see there was one or two guys, I guess, that got into it with the other side?
Yeah.
And I saw the Phoenix reported that the Trump people were antagonizing the Black Lives Matter people.
Actually,
I never saw that.
yeah, I did not.
I did not see that, and I even asked, well, you know what happened? No one knew. But I've got to tell you this because that's where it happened here. One of the Black Lives Matter gentlemen was running down the street yelling, I want him arrested. I want him arrested. And we just broke out laughing. You want a police officer? Here? Oh, my gosh.
Oh, man.
I'll tell you, the things that happen at these rallies, you know.
Defund the police. Arrest this guy.
Yeah, I want him arrested. Oh, my gosh, how we laughed. It was incredible.
Oh,
After
man.
you take a salary decrease, then arrest him.
Yeah.
When something happens right away, they want that officer.
Yes, they
but
do.
then the poor officers, they were there just making sure everything was fine because we had such a large turnout. And I felt so bad for these guys. They were so professional. But here's these horrible signs against them.
Yes.
And the language, but as soon as something happened, I want him arrested. I want him arrested. Oh, my
It is a
God.
crazy world that we live in.
It certainly is.
Being in this world, we are running short on time. So we are going to have to close out for the day. But before we close out for the day, we do want to leave with a few good words. And the good words are brought to you by the good folks at NGEMS Floor Covering. They're at 2010 Oriskany Street in Utica. Their phone number is 733-0421. Over 100 years of floor covering experience. Tony, Mark, and Julie out there. They are also experts in saving you money. And today's good word is brought to you by 1 John 2:16. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life comes not from the Father, but from the world.
Yeah.
So, everybody, keep those good words with you until we see you dark and early tomorrow here in the Breakfast Club. Take care.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin James with a quick check of your WVVC weather forecast. For today, Tuesday, look for mainly cloudy skies with a slight chance for a rain shower. Our highs will be in the upper 40s. For tonight, skies will be cloudy as our lows will be in the mid-30s. For tomorrow, Wednesday, we will see mostly cloudy skies early with partly cloudy skies later in the day. Our highs will be in the low 50s. For Wednesday night, we can expect partly cloudy skies in the evening, which will become cloudy on the overnight with a chance for periods of showers after midnight. Our lows will be in the low 40s. For the long-range outlook, cooler temperatures with chances for showers and snow showers will be the rule through the end of the week, with partly cloudy skies over the weekend into the new week. We turn our clocks back 1 hour Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, as it will become 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy that extra hour of rest. With your weather forecast, I'm Kevin James on WVVC, Utica, New York.
First on your FM dial, WVVC Dolesville, Utica, Rome. Inspo Radio 88.1 FM.
Oh,